Hello, my name is Exabu, and this is Unity of Command to Herbstnebel mission on hard. 3, 2, 1. And this time I actually recorded myself setting up all of those supply specialist steps. Actually, this mission doesn't require you to change the location of the supply hub because, well, there's not going to be any sweeping maneuvers forward because we're going to defend for the most part. And one of the things that you need to keep in mind, by the way, yes, look at my logic. By the way, those Canadian troops in the West are probably not going to do anything serious, so yeah, take away all those juicy special forces. And so, you're not supposed to retreat here. Like, the briefing tells you but that river is such a defensible location, such a defensible boundary. And so here's me just trying to kick these guys off. Unfortunately, I didn't force them to retreat. That usually doesn't happen. But not retreating, those bastards. Yes, that was a very bad start right from the start. And here's me taking Münster. Interestingly, I made a mistake in my cracking video. Anyway, so, I said that British division with the Firefly and the Churchill, actually, I used it, but it's still a good option. It's still a good option for the defenders of Münster. And sometimes you get lucky, and on the last attack of Münster, that forces the enemy to retreat, it goes to ruins, and that pretty much wins you the scenario. But the problem with retreating, it kind of works, and historically, strategically, it kind of makes sense. You have space to retreat to, and obviously the Germans... Oh, by the way, that was a little mistake I made. So, Germans took Gladbach. It's not the end of the world, so you need only to retake it by turn 8, I think, still, and the Germans will not be able to do anything or disrupt your ability to supply your troops or get reinforcements. So, yeah, I was experimenting in that area and saw the AI saw an opportunity and took it. Anyway, you're not supposed to you're kind of supposed to retreat. The game tells you, oh, yes, you might need to, but please don't. Once again, the river is highly defensible, but the bigger problem is that... it's highly defensible, and if you retreat, you're going to provide more interesting locations and vectors for attacks that the AI can launch, unfortunately resulting in more losses for you. And, your main priority, overall, this mission isn't too difficult. Your main priority here is not to lose too many troops, and I think I lost a Canadian tank division anyway. I got a little cocky and I decided not to replay the mission. But the problem here is, besides just trying to minimize your losses, is the fact that you just will not have the time. If you go for a retreat, you will not have the time to actually grab all that. Once kind of the Germans, once the Germans run out of their steam, run out of steam, and you can actually destroy all their tank divisions, and you can finally counterattack. The problem is that you're not gonna have enough time to take Münster and Rheine and Hamm. Most likely, Hamm will be impossible for you. Münster and Rheine will take them, but Hamm, the Germans will have enough time to actually set up good defensive positions. And had this been in better weather, right? So had it not been dirt through and through, by the way, good use of rearguard, even though they'll attack that division again. But yes, at least that division is not dead. I.e. meaning that that unit will not cause my HQ to lose experience, and HQ experience is valuable in this game. And so, yes, and unfortunately I didn't have the command points to actually protect that tank division, so it'll take some losses. Not critical losses, but some losses nevertheless. Ooh, that's one lucky AI. And by the way, that's a breakthrough at Bocholt and Wesel is not a big deal. Actually, it means this is one of the ways you can actually lure out the Germans and force them to kind of, oh, yes, there's an opening. Yeah, let's send tanks there. Well, valuable tanks, but there's that hex is open. so you can actually easily concentrate. And you're gonna have plenty of troops. You're gonna get plenty of reinforcements to actually take these tanks out, and this means that you will not have to deal with these tanks in the east, which is the more vulnerable location. And once again, I'm kicking them out. Actually, I made a mistake there because I built a bridge just west of Münster. Please don't do that. You should be building bridges just more to the west of Münster, right? So in that route leading towards Dortmund, actually being kind of cautious here. You can be more aggressive in general and just kick those enemies out, get closer to Ham, even though I think it's not critical to taking Ham. It's just making it easier, plus maybe potentially distracting the enemy. But in any case, it's very difficult for the AI to actually counterattack in that area, so it's not going to be able to do too much. And by the way, that Canadian division is going to die very soon. I already see the problem here. Yeah, unfortunately, and I decided not to replay the mission just because of it, even though, as you can see, it's an elite division. But the Germans they tend to send Panthers, their best tank divisions, into that northern approach, and you need to be aware of that and keep to easier defensible positions. Now, the problem is that it's not like a completely stupid idea with that Canadian division. Look at this, they blocked me, and now they attack me. It's not a completely harebrained idea, but the problem is that the weather is okay. So it's snowy, and generally most of the penalties are not as severe as in... yeah, goodbye Canadians. Not as severe as in mud. And here rearguard worked because, well, the unit had space to actually retreat to. And this looks very precarious, but it's really not. It really isn't, because once again, you're getting plenty of reinforcements. Those tank divisions that retreated, rearguard tank divisions, will return very quickly. They'll be almost in top-notch form to attack all that infantry out in the open. It's not going to be well defended. You just destroy all of it. And unfortunately, the AI is cheeky and knows the tricks, so Anger's going to use that rearguard. It has already used that rearguard on the better infantry division, unfortunately, but yeah. And you'll see the way I actually counterattack. Ooh, interesting. I got an overrun there. That I got lucky there. Oh, that infantry division had nowhere to escape to. The AI, I praised the AI, but it really didn't stand up to my praise. Really, hold up, really. All right, as you can see, I'm pushing back against the tanks that broke through. And as you can see, by the way, that city is in ruins already. Sometimes the AI loves blasting Münster with suppressive fire. It's like, actually, AI makes significant mistakes here. And usually does it with a mechanized division that has the rocket artillery, I think. Yeah, that one below Ham. It likes to do that, and it has +5 or 4 artillery. It's a good artillery unit, right? But the higher the artillery rating you have in your attack, the higher the chance of actually destroying the city in suppressive fire. And so, the chance of actually turning Münster into ruins in that scenario is actually very high. It's maybe I really don't remember the probabilities, but it's easily a third, 33%, more or less. I really don't remember the exact numbers, but it's significant. It's significant. You shouldn't do that as a player, especially on hard, because cities in ruins on hard are virtually impenetrable. All right, and as you can see, by turn 4, the Germans are already unable to do any kinds of offensive operations. They're really not going anywhere. And the only thing I need to deal with, well, yeah, blow through some of those enemies, but more importantly, take Ham, which is not going to be too much of a problem at this point, because they pretty much only have one really strong tank division, that Panther south of Ham. And all of the better divisions have already been either damaged or completely destroyed, and at this point, it's not going to be a problem. I'm going to, spread out my troops, and I'm really clearing out, because I know that I've got 4 turns, turn 5 plus 3 more. So 4 turns to already kind of like give my units experience. This is already turning into an experience gathering operation. Yeah, and I'm really happy with the fact that I already have a little bridgehead leading towards Ham as my infantry, because Ham being a town, it's a bit difficult, and as you can see, the defenders there have an AT step, which means that like reaching that town across the river with my tanks, well, it's not gonna end in anything good, right? Alright, and I'm just dealing as much damage as I can. I really don't care about defending Munster, because the AI will not. I mean, like, defending it properly, because the AI just will not put up a fight, really, there. And by the way, yes, I just waited for the division in Gladbach to run out of supply and just destroy it and get some experience out of that. It never hurts. And really, at this point, pretty much you don't need any reinforcements. All the reinforcements, I think there are some still at turn 5. Anyway, as you can see, most of the tank division, you really don't even need most of the tank formations you're provided with. You're given way too many troops for this mission, but not at the start, and that's the whole trick. Right, so the Germans are gonna go and complete defensive here. It's like, there's no chance they're gonna break through anywhere. And by the way, as you can see, Rainer did not get attacked at all, because I'm not saying that you shouldn't send a strong unit to Rainer, is what I did. Like, it's pretty much the optimum assault layouts for. I am actually wasted a really nice assault infantry division in Rainer, because the combination of self-propelled artillery, special forces, plus Hobart's funnies, which essentially is 2 specialist steps. It's the Churchills, slightly weaker Churchills, but only very slightly, plus engineers, so you've got essentially 4 steps. And with self-propelled artillery, you can just approach a city and destroy it. And actually, I mentioned that in my cracking videos, you can actually deploy a paratrooper division like that. There was I think the 6th British paratrooper division. Actually, you land it at the beginning of the during Overlord, and then it becomes really like this powerful elite infantry division. It doesn't like revert to its original form and lose its specialist stats, which sometimes is what happens with paratrooper divisions. Be careful about, say, the 82nd American paratrooper division, airborne division, because it will just eat up your specialist steps. Don't give it specialist steps. Alright, so because there are a bunch of landings over the duration of the campaign. I think the first one is like in the on Sicily, right? So in Husky. And so, yeah, and that's British division, the 6th, I think it was the 6th Airborne Division, and it like continues as an infantry division. Its advantage is that its base stats are higher than those of normal British infantry. So for British infantry, I think it was attack defense was like 3 and 3, maybe, or 2 and 3. And so for the airborne troops, it was like 1 point higher, so 3 and 4, maybe 4 and 4. I really don't remember, but it's better. The point is, it's better than normal infantry. And if you deck it out, if it's really experienced, and obviously you shouldn't lose it, like it's your best key to so many objectives. And the thing is that if you deck it out with those kinds of specialist steps, i.e. Herbert's funnies, special forces, and self-propelled artillery, it's gonna be a no-brainer taking objectives like cities with heavily fortified enemies. And by the way, I'm gradually clearing the area around Ham. I'm not even trying to bother taking Ham, because it's like, come on, why? Why? I can take a better position, set up a bunch more infantry around it, even though I suspect I'm doing like that feint attack because the Ham defenders are probably out of supply now. Or maybe because I could do it and get some experience. And so, yeah, like, even with heavily defended, fortified defenders in cities, you get a 2-0 prediction, i.e. no losses, or 0-2 predictions, i.e. no losses, and two losses for the enemy. And because it's an engineer, it's guaranteed to breach some of the fortifications, and which is absolutely perfect. So it's an absolute. Okay, ooh, I got a little cocky there. The Germans do like these tiny counterattacks. But no, Ham is going to be my next turn. It's already out of supply, yes, and yeah, I was right to do that feint attack. And so, yeah, you can actually blast through it. I remember the mission, the Advance on Antwerp mission. I think I mentioned it actually on this channel as well. So, yeah, and Ham is mine. And so, yeah, I just went and take Le Havre and all those other coastal cities. Just using that division, it just breaks everything. So, like, go for it, and please don't lose it. It makes so many missions so much easier. Well, not so many missions, like maybe 2 or 3. Alright, so I think this is it. At this point, I'm just gathering experience and destroying enemies and all the usual stuff that you should do if you have time left in a mission. Do those suppressive fires because they give full experience, and then destroy enemies, if you can, obviously. And I think this is it for today. Go ahead and check out my main channel, Hexaboo, Hexboo. I'll leave, I think it should appear right now, like the link to my cracking videos, and check out those as well. And we'll see you later with more. I'll see you later with more of these missions. Cheers.